So take us back to the very beginning. Where did the idea for the Venue Masterclass come about?
Yeah, it actually came out of a coaching session. I was feeling a little stagnant in like the consulting side of things. I really wanted to like really have like impact change in the venues space. And my original thought was like, oh, let me just start a community. But I was like, that's not really like overly my jive. Like I love education. And I felt like as I kind of spent the year really immersed traveling and in conferences, I just kept hearing the same thing over and over again that like there just wasn't really quality education for venues specifically. And so just through a lot of like coaching and conversations, my coach actually was like, she was like, have you ever thought about this? And I was like, no, but I love it. And went full bore ahead that same year, had the masterclass. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I think that that's part of looking in those opportunities specifically for venues is that the challenges are not the same as everyone else in the wedding and event industry. There's different overheads and all of those things. So was there anything like specific moment or a challenge or things that really felt that you sparked the need for to create a space like this?
Yeah, so I was at a fundraiser dinner. I was sitting across the way from a lovely couple, and we were just chit chatting and whatnot. And this was, I think it was for the Greenville NACE fundraiser, right? And we were just talking, and I found out that they had owned a venue, and so we just started, kind of having that camaraderie conversation. And she said, we actually just sold it. I said, oh, well, congratulations. How do you feel about it? And she's like, terrible. She's like, I really didn't want to sell it. I had to sell it. And so we started talking, and I was just trying to understand like this have to, then want to. And she's like, I just couldn't get it sold. Like I couldn't really book it out. I felt like I really didn't. I thought I was really prepared for it being in the industry. And, ultimately we just kept losing money and it was like this really heartbreaking moment of this person who had to give up on this dream. And as I'm like talking to her, being a friendly person and, consoling her and, giving, I'm not gonna be like, well, you should have, that's not how you handle those situations. But in my mind, I was just thinking like, oh my gosh, like if there was like something that people could go to that could have helped, because it was small things she was saying that was like, oh my gosh, like was there not, there was, there wasn't this way to like I was like, I wish you just would have reached out. I wish you would have like, had the community to lean on and then had someone suggest like a coach or whatnot. And I realized there just isn't a space for that. And the venue community is so competitive, especially in your own personal market. Everyone's afraid to talk about the things that they're failing at. And so they just hide it and they push it down. And so I wanted to create a space where we could all come together and be like, hey, like actually, I know my Instagram looks amazing, but can I just tell you, I suck at the maintenance of my venue, right? Like, and kind of create a safe space where we can really, help each other and get some really quality education to help us get out of these holes we find ourselves in.